Okay, welcome to the first ever edition of Winter Sports of BuccsWeekly, which we're going to try to profile the winter sports teams throughout the season. And we're going to kick things off for the year with head basketball coach Matt Pond. And the Covington Buccaneers are coming off of a 12-12 season a year ago, 7-5 in the league. And Coach, we lost some really good players last year in the senior class. Can you talk about those kids?
Yeah, we did. We had a couple multiple-year lettermen, Nathan Bly, Trevor Miller, Kenny Atkinson, Jace Pond, to name a few. All those kids contributed, and we had them for a few years, as you said. So a few parts to replace.
Mm-hmm. Well, unfortunately, we have a two letterman back that contributed a lot to varsity level last year, and Zach Parrott and Jet. Can you talk about those two kids as far as their experience coming back?
Definitely. Zach and Jet both are multiple letter winners. Zach will be a 4-year letter winner for us, and Jet will be a 3. It's nice to have that experience coming back. Both of those kids have been part of the teams that have won tournament games the last 2 years, and I think that's going to go a long way for them and for them providing leadership for other kids.
And how have they stepped up as leaders? Because that's big shoes to fill. When you lose the guys you had last year and then them coming in, how have they been able to step up as leaders?
Well, they've really led by example. It's showing up every day and doing the things we need to do in practice. And we've got other kids that were on the JV last year that are eager to jump in there. And I think this might be a group that actually leads by committee. There's a lot of interchangeable parts right now, so we're pretty excited to see what we have.
Okay, so talk about some of the kids that played primarily JV ball and are coming up to varsity this year. And we do have a good senior class. We have a lot of seniors.
Excellent class. We got Braden Miller, Nathan Lyle, and Braden Wiggins, all of who played the majority of JV ball last year, also along with kids like Tyler Fraley and Ryan Yohe and Gray Harshbarger. And we had a very successful JV season last year, which those kids played an integral part in. And we're looking for that success to carry over. Again, we had a fantastic summer. The commitment from our kids was as good as it's ever been. And again, that's something that I think is going to carry over the season. So far, has carried over into the early preseason for us.
Okay, so what are you looking for from the kids? I know our schedule, of course, is a gauntlet. Especially our non-conference schedule. I mean, I think we've got one of the toughest non-conference schedules around.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about the Versailles and the Coldwaters and the Rushis, all them, and then also the Pickle Holiday Tournament. So what are you looking for the kids, this year?
As always, we want great effort, but we want them to be great teammates. We want team chemistry, team unity, what every coach wants. Obviously, we want them to make every shot, but we want them to get better every night. And again, these are the kids that we've set our sights on. The kids that have come through our program. They've been with us since I've been here, just like last year's group, and they've been in the system. And so it's kind of nice when you come into practice and ask them to run something. We're able to do a little bit more coaching and a little less teaching with it, and that's kind of nice to carry over. They've got a pretty decent basketball IQ, and I think that's going to translate to a quality team on Friday and Saturday nights.
That's great. As far as our league, who in our league are would you consider the front runners, and what are the stiff competition?
As well as I do. I mean, I think it's wide open. I think Bethel's got a lot of kids coming back, but the thing about our league, one, there's a lot of very nice basketball players. There's great coaches in this league. There always has been, long before I got here, and so I think night in and night out. But FM's got returning kids. And Sonia was very athletic last year and didn't lose anybody. They're back.
They were young, yeah.
Yeah. Arcanum's got a nice. There's a lot of young talent in the league right now. So I think it's wide open, and I think that leads to a very exciting league competition, a very exciting basketball season overall.
Okay, well that's the season preview for boys basketball. After this commercial break, we'll be back with Jim Meyer and the girls basketball team.
Hi, this is Don Solon, pastor at Fields of Grace Worship Center. We are a non-denominational church with a contemporary casual atmosphere. We are a church committed to reaching outside our walls while at the same time caring for those that call Fields of Grace home. Maybe you know Fields of Grace by all our community events. You are always welcome to come on over for a cup of coffee Sunday mornings and check us out at fieldsofgrace.org for service times.
Eagles does a lot for this school and this program. We need to give them some thanks. On three, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Go Eagles! Yeah!
Thank you, Covington Eagles! Thank you, Covington Eagles!
Thank you, Covington Eagles!
Thank you, Covington Eagles! Woo! Thank you, Covington Eagles, for all you do for Covington schools. Go Bucks! Woo!
Welcome back to Bucks Weekly, the Winter Sports Preview Edition. I'm with head girls basketball coach Jim Meyer. The Lady Bucks are coming off of a 20-6 season a year ago. District runner-up. It was an unbelievable season last year. Can you kind of comment on that?
Well, I think I call it the girls amazing because I got the job so late in the fall, and not only did I have to coach them, but they had to learn who I was, and I had to learn who they were. So we had some great seniors last year that were really hungry to play. They hadn't played a lot of varsity, and kids came together. We had a very big comeback win, our first game against Houston, which kind of set the tone for the season, and from there things just fell into place. We had big wins against some really good teams, finished second in the league. Had Tri-Village down by 12 with 2 minutes to go, and the three-pointers started to rain down, and we weren't able to hold on and pull that one off. But we finished second in the league with 11-1 record. Had a great non-conference schedule. Played Greenville, played Springfield Shawnee, beat both of them. Had tough losses to Russia, tough losses to Jackson Center. Jackson Center went to state. Russia went to the regional last year. In fact, Russia beat us in the district final, and we led all three of them at halftime. So the kids battled in every game. A lot of times we were outsized, but
Just about every night we were outside.
yeah, but just they had a lot of heart, and everybody played their role extremely well. And because of that, the team itself, I think, really outperformed any expectations that anybody had for them.
Mm-hmm. And we have a pretty good group of girls. You know, we did lose 5 or 6 really talented seniors or quality seniors, and we have a really good group of girls come back. Can you talk about those girls that are returning?
Yeah, we have our 2 seniors, Tori Lyle and Jordan Crowell, both starters last year. Jordan led us in 3-point shooting. Unfortunately, she had knee issues late in the season. We didn't have her for our last game of the season or for a tournament run, and that, you know, again, we were able to pull that off without her, which is incredible because of the things that she can give us from the 3-point line.
And defensively too.
And defensively. And you know, I myself know personally what it's like to blow out an ACL and the recovery that it takes, and all that you go through confidence-wise with you know, believing in your brace, and this month she has really worked hard to get back in, number one, to playing condition and to trust her brace, and she did really well last night in our last scrimmage, hit a couple of threes, and so she's getting there. So we need her and her shooting threes, and Tori Lyle's a 5'6" post player that plays a lot bigger than what she is because she is so technically sound. She plays great defense. She has great defensive positioning. She always boxes out. She's always where she's supposed to be on offense, and is just truly a team player. But she is probably one of the most technically sound players I've ever coached. So those 2 seniors lead us. We have Sammy Whiteman returning, who was our leading scorer last year, our leading rebounder, led us in assist, averaged 18 points a game. She's our point guard. And of course, Sammy not only can score, but she can get the ball to her teammates, which makes them better. And we have Lauren Christian and Lily Hamilton, who are 2 post players, junior post players. They both bring a different aspect to the game. Lauren is a very physical player, great defender, great rebounder, kind of an enforcer. Lily is more of she can step outside and shoot the ball, a little bit more finesse player, but being 6 foot allows her to get on the boards, and she also can block some shots. And then Kenzie Long, sophomore, stepped in the tournament last year when Jordan went down, had some big moments in the tournament run, and is now starting for us as a sophomore. Kenzie's just an athlete. She is a great offensive rebounder.
She's a lot like her sister.
Yeah, yeah. And so just having her natural talent, she can knock down a three, she can defend, and like I said, she can get to the boards as well. So that's the core coming back that we have.
And what are some of the girls that are coming up from the JV level that'll be contributing in varsity, getting some varsity minutes for you?
Right, we got the two Morgans, Morgan Lowe and Morgan Kimmel. Will back up the outside players. They are both very physical players. Morgan Lowe is not a big player by any means, but she's very physical, very quick, leaps very well, and Morgan Kimmel will run through a wall for you if you need her to. She plays that hard. So it's good to have those two on the outside, and then Josie Crow, Jordan's younger sister, will be inside. The great thing about Jordan is she can step out and hit a three. Mm-hmm. So we have some different offensive sets that when she's in the game, we'll get her outside too to allow her to shoot.
Okay, so in the cross-country conference, like you said, last year we finished second. Of course, had a heartbreaking loss over there at Tri-Village last year in their gym. Who in our league do you look at that is going to really challenge for the league title this year?
Well, you always start with Tri-Village. Even though they lost 2 all-state players, 4-year starters, they come back with 2 very good shooting guards. They won't have as much size inside, but they will have good size inside. And that's just a tremendous program. Mm-hmm. And so until somebody knocks them off, they're number one. My niece is going to be a lot better because they get their point guard back who had the same knee issue last year that Jordan dealt with, and she's now full go, and with her, she's their point guard. With her, they're going to be much, much better. So they'll challenge. And then you've got Newton with Tatum McBride and the cast that surrounds her. They're going to be in it. And of course, Franklin Monroe, a lot of the girls last year were freshmen. They played varsity. They were very good.
They're still young, and I think they only have one senior, but they're going to be tough.
And they're going to be tough. And then you look at teams like National Trail, who was very young last year. We had trouble with them down there. You look at teams like Twin Valley South, who bring back a lot of players, and we played them twice, the last time being in the tournament, and they gave us all we could handle in the tournament. Tri-County North is young, and that they've got they had a 6-foot freshman that made all-league, and so they're back. And Bradford, amazingly, Bradford's got, I shouldn't say amazingly, but I'm amazed that they've got this core of freshmen that are going to make them better than what people thought they were going to be. So there are no league games where you're going to say, hey, we're going to get a night off. We're going to go and we're going to blow this team out. We're going to have to be ready to play every single league game that we have on our schedule.
And then our non-conference schedule, or out-of-conference schedule, I mean, we have, just like the boys, we have probably one of the toughest non-conference schedules for a small school program that you could have.
Yeah, we've added Troy this year, which is a Division I school. And of course we have Greenville and Springfield Shawnee again, who are Division II schools. You've got Russia and Jackson Center and Houston out of the Shelby County League, which is always tough. And how can you forget about Versailles?
That's a machine, isn't it?
I've got 2 6'2" sisters, and they went to the state final game last year. A lot of their kids are back. Jackson Center was at the state last year in Division IV. So yeah, we have a great non-conference schedule, and that prepares the kids for the league schedule as well as tournament.
And you talk about Versailles too. A lot of their girls that just won a state title in volleyball are playing basketball.
Right.
So they just
Right.
they've got a lot of really good athletes all around.
And they have enough for a freshman team every year, and for a girls program, even though they're as a Division III, that's not many girls programs have the luxury of having a freshman team.
So what are your outlook on the season? What are your expectations as a coach?
Well, my expectation is to win every game that we play. I mean, that's what every coach wants to do. I tell people we have all the pieces necessary to be as successful or better than last year. It's just getting those pieces to fall into place. Our scrimmage schedule has been rough. We're still trying to find each other now. We went to Cedarville last night and probably had our best, not probably, but actually had our best scrimmage of the 4 scrimmages we've had. So that was the kids left there last night on a positive note. But now we sit here 2 days away from our first game, and it's kind of like what you got is what you got. We're not, obviously no practice tomorrow on Thanksgiving, and Friday morning will just be a shoot around to get ready to play Friday night. So hopefully those pieces fall together come Friday night.
Well, if last year's any indication, the excitement that was out there for the girls, it was awesome. I mean, the gym was just amped up.
We had great crowds and crowds that followed us too on the road.
Exactly.
So that's fun for girls. Rarely do they get to play in front of big crowds, and so that means a lot to them to have the following that they do.
Well, it's going to be another exciting season of Lady Bucks basketball. After this quick break, we're going to talk to Coach Eric Vanderhorst of the Covington wrestling team.
Hello, my name is Ron Sutherland, President of Covington Savings and Loan. We have been a part of the Covington and the surrounding community since 1886. We have been serving both savings and loan customers and help promoting home ownership. Stop by and talk with Jason for your lending needs, or see Diane in Brooklyn for all your savings needs. Thank you for your continued support to help Covington Savings and Loan continue to support the Covington community.
FDIC approved. Color Green Photo offers a variety of photographic options for high school seniors, weddings, and families. We pride ourselves in providing creative and captivating images that have a special meaning to those we shoot. Please visit colorgreenphoto.com to view samples of our work and contact us at 937-418-0417 to schedule your next photo session.
Welcome back to Bucks Weekly, the Winter Sports Edition, and I'm with head wrestling coach Eric Vanderhorst, who takes over for longtime coach Tom Barbee. And Eric, it's good to have you.
Good to be here. Thanks, Ben.
This is a 46th season of Covington Wrestling, and you want to talk about stability. It's a program where we've had 3 coaches in the last 45 years, and you're the 4th. Can you just talk about that stability and how it's benefited the program over the years?
Yeah, I think it's been great. Larry Tisdale and company, a couple other coaches started the program in year 1. Then Jack Schwamberger took over. He was head coach for a good amount of time. Then Tom Barbee took over as head coach for a while. Then Jack Schwamberger took over for a bunch of years when I wrestled in high school. I had Barbee as a freshman and Schwamberger as a sophomore through senior. And then right around 98-99 season, Coach Barbee took over again as head coach, and he took over then. So those coaches working together, and I was volunteer assistant for Coach Schwamberger 1 year, and then when Barbee came back, I've been his assistant for 19 seasons. So all the coaches working together like that throughout the years, you just have a stability. You're kind of building up from the ground up, which is good. So yeah.
And our entire coaching staff has coached or basically wrestled for Barbee and Schwamberger, so is that familiar?
Yeah, other than Don, and yeah. So we got Corey Turner, who's assisting us in the high school this year, and he's coached the youth the past 6 seasons, and Mike Steffen, who's been coaching the junior high for the past 11 seasons and helped with the high school the last 4 or 5 years, and then Coach Don would be the one who didn't. He was a Graham kid, and but he's coached with our junior high the past 3 years. But we had longtime youth coaches, Brad Hall and Randy Sowers, who were, Covington wrestlers. Marty Finfrock, whole bunch of them. A lot of people volunteered in the youth, yeah.
Our entire coaching staff at the high school level and junior high level is also involved with the youth program as well over the years.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, that's right.
So, I mean, when you look at the evolution in Covington wrestling, I would say through the first 30 to 35 years, we had the 2 state placers back in the early 80s with your brother Craig and Jason Kingery. And then once, I believe it was Logan Brown in 2005 and 6, he got 3rd and then a state championship. He said once he broke through, our program has really went to another level with all the kids finishing on the podium.
Sure.
Since then.
Yeah.
So what's kind of attributed to that?
So, a couple of different things. We've been blessed. We have a wrestling building, right, that we got constructed in the early 2000s. And then, Brad Hall and Randy Sowers able to start our youth program. So those 2 things really helped us get kids in there as elementary school kids. They get a lot more practice. We spend more time with them. When I wrestled, we rolled up the mats. We'd lift them off the elementary school cafeteria stage, put them on the floor, unroll them, mop them. You'd have practice, roll them back up, pick them up back on stage every single day. So obviously that cut a ton into your practice time. We don't have that problem now. So these kids are really blessed. They don't know how it used to be, but they got it pretty good.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Elementary school days.
Yeah, they got it pretty good. So, that, and the other thing, when I wrestled and my brothers wrestled, we were first generation in this area. Southwest District, they kind of started wrestling programs, 70s, 80s. And I remember when I was at state, my junior year, I think, one of my future opponents, he's like 80-year-old great-grandpa's out there showing him technique, and I'm thinking, how's that guy know anything? But, so I think as we're at like 2nd generation now in Southwest District, the coaching's getting better, we're learning more, the kids, we're getting more established. That's helped us compete, and really our district the last 6-7 years has probably been arguably the best one in the state. So those things all contributed to us having better team, better program.
And this area, like the Southwest District area as a whole, just look at a lot of the programs and a lot of the kids that have come out of those programs, we're seeing on a national stage at the collegiate level.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you look at all the guys. Well, for us, we had Logan who goes and he's a 4-time qualifier. Wrestled at Purdue, Big Ten, big school. Andrew DeHart goes down and wrestles. At Duke, another big school.
Right.
So this area really has become a talent.
Oh yeah, it's been great. Kyler Dieter had a great career up at Ohio Northern. Brian Olson became a national qualifier, at Mount Union. So yeah, just been fortunate. And last night we trucked up to Ohio State to watch Ryan Ford. He was wrestling with Cleveland State against Ohio State. So,
and how did he look?
So he looked good. Ohio State's kids, he's really ranked pretty high. But Ryan he also wrestled Kent State and almost knocked off the number 20 ranked guy in the nation. And overtime he lost in overtime. But he wrestled really well, looked good, represented the Bucks well. So yeah.
And had a lot of kids go over for that?
Yeah, there was a good group. I mean, it was a little tight because we had to book it after practice to get there. But yeah, we had a Covington contingent in there watching him, so that was fun.
As far as the the transition, Coach Barbie, he got honored in Columbus this past this spring at the state tournament. The legacy that he's left behind. You're kind of keeping that ball rolling that he's kind of left. How has the transition been for the wrestling program, for you?
Yeah, very smooth. I mean, he did a good job of making it smooth, and he offered me a position to be assistant coach. Back in 1998, I think, or whatever. And obviously I'm not a teacher, so I wasn't sure if coaching other than volunteering would be in my future. But I said, let's give it a try. And yeah, so now it's my 20th year. So, but he's done a good job of bringing in guys and basically just trying to keep continuity and I think we've been around. Coach Stephan. I coach Coach Stephan, and he's been coaching with us for a long time. He wrestled under me and Barbie, and then Coach Turner. I competed with him in school in football and wrestling, and so yeah, there's a lot of we know each other. We've been coaching kids. The kids that are on this year's team. A lot of us have been coaching them since they were
Little.
second grade, third grade, whether it be baseball, football, wrestling, right? So we've known these kids for a long time. So there's a lot of continuity. You know the parents well, and yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about this year's team. You know, we are very young. We have a really nice size roster. We only have 2 seniors, of course, with Kyle Bargy and Bryce Kaiser.
Yep.
So can you just talk about, you know, this team and, you know, what do we have coming back and then who's coming in?
Yeah, it's a little parallels with how our football season went this year. I think we have, we're heavily weighted in freshmen and sophomores and smaller junior and senior class, but we got to, and so we're going to be a little less experienced, less mature than some of the teams we face. We round out pretty good in weight, so we fill a pretty good roster. I think we're going to fill all the weight classes. We have good kids, even though we don't have a lot of upperclassmen. We got great kids on the team. You know, we're looking for Bryce Kaiser and Kyle Bargy to have their best years they can have as a senior. And, you know, we have 4 juniors. We have Carrington Martin, returning district placer, and Riley Richards, returning district qualifier. So they obviously have goals to go a step further than they did last year. You know, along with them, Gavin McReynolds, looking for him to take a big step this year. His technique was getting a lot better last year. Now looking for him to make the jump this year. And Cody Nichols, who moved in from Miami East, he's on our team this year. He's our last junior. And so those will be our, you know, those are our 6 upperclassmen. So we're looking them to lead by example and, you know, lead however they can, lead vocally, but mostly by example. Want them to, you know, show the work ethic, you know. And then, you know, we have 7 sophomores, 12 freshmen, and, you know, we talked with each of these guys. It's great group of kids. I love these kids. They're out there practicing hard. They're working hard. They're working on technique. They're being good teammates to each other's. If they're doing that, you know, they all come in at different, call it wrestling intelligence levels, experience levels. They have different levels of athleticism. If they can just each of them focus on themselves, being the best version of themselves they can be, we're going to have a fun season. So looking forward to that.
And can you also talk about some of the competition that we'll be facing? You know, we're of course in a lot of big tournaments throughout the year, and then also some of our, you know, dual meets and quad meets and things like that. We have really good competition. Can you talk about this, you know, our schedule? How it plays out?
We start off at Northeastern Invitational, and that's not our most competitive tournament, but, you know, it's a good one to start out in. There'll be some good individuals there. We should do well as a team, expecting to do well there as a team. Then we have Versailles. They're, you know, they were state, one of the top teams in the state last year. Went to state and competed at state. They're great, and they got some veteran kids. So that'll be a challenge. That'll be our next duel. Looking forward to having good battles with them. They'll also be one of the better teams in our sectionals district alignment. We hit the 2 mega tournaments, like you mentioned, 38-team Greater Miami Valley, where we're probably the smallest school there. A lot of Division I schools, Division II schools, so it's fun to go and compete there. Lima Central Catholic, another big one that we'll go to, you know, 40 teams. Those will all be good. A new thing that happened this year is we picked up a sectional tournament. So Covington's going to be hosting a sectional this year. So that's going to be great.
A lot of good memories on it.
Bring it back here. So obviously we want to represent well and compete well at that tournament. And so hopefully the season prepares us for that. You know, it's kind of all preseason until you get to the postseason. So hopefully, you know, but we wrestle Coldwater, you know. We hit a lot of the bigger schools in our area. Miami East is obviously they're the favorite in our leagues this year. They got a lot of seniors coming back. They're a veteran team. Arcanum's an up and coming team. They got some good individuals in our league. And Tri-County North usually puts out a pretty good team. So as far as league competition, those are the
National Trails has some.
And Trail has some very good individuals as well. Yeah, that's right. They got some very good individuals. That's for sure.
Yeah. And are we still in the Troy Invitational?
Yep, we're going back to Troy Invitational. That's beginning in January. We'll hit, let's see, we had a couple good reserve invitationals. So we've got a lot of guys that are going to be wrestling reserve, but it's competitive. We wrestle schools like Centerville, Vandalia, Butler, bigger schools, and Versailles has one we'll hit, Sydney has one we'll hit, and Ben Logan has one we'll hit. So it's competitive. You know, these guys, you may be varsity, you may not be varsity, but you can still get a lot better as a reserve kid.
And there's been a lot of kids who've started out the season wrestling reserve, and by the end of the season they're in varsity.
That's right, it flips, and we've had kids who, you know, freshmen and sophomore really wanted to be varsity. They weren't. They were reserve in their junior year. hop in there. You know, Daniel Jennings, first year varsity, he's at state. You know, Jake
Yeah.
Sowers, another one just like it. So that
Josh?
happens. Yeah,
Josh Sowers. Oh,
yeah,
he didn't get to
Or
state, but he did.
yeah, Josh was number 5, one away essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, that's the first edition of Bucks Weekly with Covington Wrestling. We'll look forward to following the Bucks throughout the 2017-18 season. For Ben Robinson and Eric Vanderhorst, good night. And you're supposed to say, go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
There you go.
This is Andy Johnson of Bucks Radio, the voice of Covington Buccaneers. Here to encourage Buccaneer fans to support local businesses. Your patronage of local businesses goes a long way in allowing them to continue to support Covington schools and Covington athletics.